had a blast so far in this round of the tournament, and we will be halfway through all the fights in this round by the end of this episode. We have seen so many Titans advance to the next round of their class, and some of them even fall in this round of the tournament, meaning that there are several worthy competitors of a War Machines title this season. In this episode, we will see several more Titans appear in this fight card who all look to move one step closer to one of the 3 War Machines titles. Let's now find out who all is on tonight's fantastic fight card. Leading off the episode, we have the vertical spinner of Huge in their unusual design, who will take on the flipper of Lucky. Up second, we have a spinner battle between the horizontal spinner, the undercutter of Rev4, and the vertical spinner of Warhawk. Up third, we have the powerful horizontal spinner of Daedalus, who will take on the flipper of Lameheart. Up fourth, we have the vertical spinner of Deathroll, who is very well armored, but will that help them in their matchup against a front-hinged flipper of P1? Up fifth, we have a unique grabber and flipper design. We have Slammo, who will take on the flipper of Snappy. Up sixth, we have the flipper of Beast 2, who will take on the horizontal spinner of Scorpion. Up seventh, we have one of the coolest designs in War Machines this season. We have the Crusher of Mantis, who will take on the flipper of TR2. Up next, we have the horizontal spinners of Electric Ray, who will take on the Clusterbot of Weewoo. Up next, we have the flipper and the axe of Behemoth, who will take on the full body spinner of Son of Waiachi. Finally, we have tonight's main event, which features the front-hinged flipper of Catalyst, who will take on the vertical spinner of Lockjaw. Great lineup for tonight. I could see many of these fights going either way. Let's now get to the first matchup and determine who all we will see in the next round of this tournament. For our first matchup, we start in the Battlebots and Bugglebots class, where we will see Huge take on Lucky. On the left side, we have the 16 seed Huge and their vertical spinner. This design is very unusual, as we got 2 giant wheels there and a massive vertical spinner. This is still a very hard design to fight for lots of types. But however though, those 2 giant wheels could be vulnerable if they go up against the right opponent who could destroy those things. Their opponent is one who may have trouble exposing Huge's weaknesses, but you don't want to underestimate them. It's the 49 seed Lucky and their flipper. This bot is well armored. It's well known for being built like a tank, as this thing can take hit after hit. But if they get flipped over, they tend to struggle to self-right. They also have those 4 exposed wheels that their opponents may try to take advantage of. This should be a fun fight to lead it off, but let's see some highlights from both of these machines' opening round matchups. First up, we have Huge, a returner from last season. They managed to dismantle Sidewinder, their opponent, piece by piece, and left Sidewinder leaving the arena in an absolute bin bag, and won this fight by knockout and got a high seed in the bracket. Their opponent is Lucky, where their opening round fight did not go so well for them, as they ended up taking hit after hit from Yeti and their drum spinner, and was eventually knocked into the pit and left the arena with a lot of damage. However though, Lucky did have a ton of big moments in that fight, and because of all of that, Lucky was awarded a wild card and a second chance in this tournament. Let's see, will Lucky be able to come back from that opening round loss and take out Huge? Let's find out now. Here comes Huge. Lucky charging right out of the gate, took a shot, they knocked Huge off balance here. Could that be Lucky's strategy, trying to keep Huge off balance as much as possible? But right now they're underneath Huge, taking some shots from that spinner. I see pieces flying already. That can't be good for Lucky, right now. So they don't want to take too much damage from Huge. I saw something came off. Looks like a wheel came off of Lucky too. Lucky down to 3 wheels already in this one, and we're 30 seconds through this one so far. Lucky taking a bunch of hits and a big hit! Huge is knocked off balance and Lucky is flipped over. I see more parts across the arena. Lucky definitely took some serious damage in that one, and off comes another wheel. Looks like a big chunk of the flipper on Lucky came off in that exchange too. Lucky is not in a good place right now, as they now only have drive on one side here and a really badly damaged flipper. Huge charges right into the pit tire, opens up the pit. They're going to try to put Lucky down the pit. Huge isn't exactly the best design for push battles, but you never know what could happen here. Could we see a countdown coming on Lucky soon? Now, as I don't know if they're driving on one side, driving in circles here, as they have to leave their circumference, but either way, Huge is coming in, charging in for more, causing more damage on Lucky here. More shots to the top of Lucky. How long can Lucky hold up here? I see a little smoke coming out of them here. A couple more big shots from Huge, but now Lucky, they don't seem to be moving here. Minute 20 left to go and Lucky is not moving. Countdown on Lucky is coming here. I think Huge has won this battle by knockout. And Huge has now advanced. A little victory dance there. Very creative out of Huge. Gotta say, fantastic fight from Huge. Landing some shots right off the bat to the top of Lucky. That was Huge's strategy, was clearly keep that spinner going and keep hitting Lucky. Keep causing damage here, and they did that. And it was very successful for them, because they made, as we saw, lots of big hits, as we saw Lucky lose some wheels early. Then we saw this one, which didn't, where we saw some massive damage get caused to Lucky's flipper, and eventually they lost the second wheel, leaving them with drive on one side. And then it wasn't long after that before Huge managed to get several more big hits in with that vertical spinner, and finished off Lucky for good in this one. Yeah, right here, couple more jabs there, and then it wasn't long during this highlight before Huge managed to get the kill shot that took out Lucky for the rest of this fight. Fantastic win from Huge, and we will see them in the next round. We stay in the Battlebots and Bugglebots class for our second fight of the night, where we have Rev4 and Warhawk. On one side, we have the 24 seed Rev4 and their Undercutter. That Undercutter is very well known in War Machines for causing a lot of damage, and because that thing has a lot of power in it. It cannot deny that. But then, their big problem are those 2 exposed wheels. They had problems with that last season. It hasn't been an issue so far this season, but you never know what could happen. Their opponent is the 41 seed Warhawk and their vertical spinner. This bot is very well armored. It's quite well defended on all sides, but that wedge has been well known for being delicate. As we saw their loss from last season, we saw their opponent just dismantle that wedge piece by piece. Either way, this should be a fantastic fight. Let's now see some highlights from both of these bots' opening round matchups. On one side, we have Rev4, who managed to land tons of big shots and managed to dismantle Kraken piece by piece in their opening round fight. And it wasn't long in that one before they managed to get the knockout on Kraken and advance to the next round. Their opponent is Warhawk, where they also got a relatively quick win, as they were able to get a ton of jabs with that vertical spinner, do some major damage to Claws 2, and then knock them into the pit, and Warhawk won this fight by knockout. Fantastic fight this will probably be. Here comes Warhawk charging right out of the gate, trying to box rush Rev4, and Warhawk was able to successfully do that as they've jammed up the spinner of Rev4. Warhawk has that spinner going, but it's not making contact with Rev4 here. That's definitely going to be a problem here. Warhawk's got to connect with that spinner here. do some damage of their own, especially while Rev 4's spinner has been stopped. Now Warhawk trying to get some jabs in, just can't get that fork underneath Rev of here. Knows that's going to be something to watch here. Another big hit there between these two bots. Rev 4 has their spinner up to speed, and Warhawk nearly got to a wheel there. So we saw Warhawk nearly get the shot, nearly get a big hit on the sides, and another big charge by Warhawk here. Both bots holding up very well to each other here. We're about a minute into this fight, and now Warhawk getting pushed into the rails here. Warhawk up in the air here. They gotta get free of that somehow. Now Rev 4's got the spinner kind of going down. Stopped though. We see another real stalemate here. Big charge by Warhawk, and I see a piece on the arena. Appears that was part of the front of Warhawk is what it looks like. This is definitely a big concern for Warhawk. Is Rev 4 starting to do some big damage? Definitely appears so, as another piece of the wedge just came flying off. And now something else just came off as well. Looks like the front fork on Warhawk just came off there, and now both bots take a huge shot, and both bots are flipped over. Warhawk luckily can drive upside down. Now they right themselves, but now they are taking a lot of punishment from Rev 4 in their spinner. Both bots flipped over right now. Oh, Warhawk just still fighting though, despite taking a ton of major damage in this one. Continuing to try to push Rev 4 around. Warhawk does seem a little off balanced right now. That could be a possible concern right now. Now as back on their feet is Warhawk here, trying to do some more damage. But they have really suffered so far, and it appears they might have drive on one side. Something might be up with Warhawk here. Less than a minute to go, and another big chunk. Was that the weapon that just came off? As Warhawk just lost their primary weapon there. It definitely appears like it, but I don't know for sure. It looks like it was at least part of the weapon for sure. Now as Warhawk may be in some serious trouble right now. Less than 30 to go. Oh, here. More like less than 15 now. We see another real stalemate. How well built is Warhawk? Taking a ton of damage, and they are still fighting here. 5 seconds left in this fight. This one is going to the judges. And wow, a lot of action in this one. A lot to analyze here. Right at the beginning of this fight, we saw Warhawk coming out with a box rush here, trying to slow down Rev 4's spinner and get into some shots of their own. It worked pretty well at first, as we saw Warhawk be able to ram into Rev 4, but not really be able to get many successful shots. This was the real turning point when stuff really started to get going, when trouble really started to get going for Warhawk. We saw him get rammed into the rails, then we saw this happen, where Warhawk lost a big piece of their front. And then it was this area right here, another big piece of Warhawk's front came off. And as well, during this push off right here, right there, we saw the fork come off on Warhawk, preventing them from being able to get underneath Rev 4. Then it was this moment right here where Warhawk lost their weapon and was weaponless for the remainder of the fight. But still, Warhawk just kept pushing and stuff. This still could be a very close decision. Warhawk did have some great stuff in this fight. Let's hear what the judges had to say, as you never know what could happen when a fight goes into their hands. The votes are in, and it was unanimous. The winner of this battle is Rev 4! Gotta say, this was probably one of the easier decisions that the judges have gotten, knowing how much damage Rev 4 was able to do in that fight, which is the biggest category that the judges judge these fights on. Fantastic fight. We will see Rev 4 in the next round. Coming up next, we have the 2 seed Daedalus and the 63 seed Lameheart from Battlebots and Bugglebots class. On the left side, we have Daedalus, who was awarded the 2 seed thanks to that powerful horizontal spinner. That thing caused a lot of destruction in their opening round battle, where they had another impressive bout. but they do have those 2 exposed wheels the opponents have taken advantage of in the past. On the other side, we have Lameheart and the 63 seed. This bot is reasonably well armored in this situation, but their flipper is not very effective, and if they get flipped over, they tend to struggle to self-right. While it is possible though, as we have seen that happen. Before we get to this battle now, as this should be a good one, let's see some highlights from both these bots' opening round matchup. First up, we have Daedalus, where they took on one of the most durable bots in the competition, and they dismantled it and got the knockout within less than half of the clock in that battle. Their opponent is Lameheart, where they managed to get some pretty good action in with that flipper, and then managed to get their opponent's Sharks and Trakian down the pit of oblivion to advance to this round. Here we go, Daedalus getting their sprinter speed. Lameheart charging at Daedalus, trying to box rush. I see a bit of Lameheart across the arena already. Daedalus clearly doing some damage. A big hit! And one of the side panels on Lameheart is completely off here. One of those sides are exposed, 2 wheels exposed right now. Is Daedalus going to try and go for some of those wheels? They got to be careful about their own stability though. Big hit by Daedalus, another piece coming off in Lameheart. Do they have Daedalus in the corner here? This is not where Daedalus wants to be, but they get a wheel. Lameheart, I see a wheel in the corner there. They're down to 3 wheels here. That can't be good. Lameheart's flipped over. They can't self-right very easily, and they lose another wheel. Lameheart getting destroyed piece by piece, going flying here. Things are not looking good. Their defenses are nearly down. Their flipper looks damaged, and they got 2 wheels left. Another big shot by Daedalus here. A minute into this fight, and Lameheart is in pieces right now. Another big shot by Daedalus. Looks like the other side is almost completely exposed as well. That can't be good. Now it is completely exposed. Lameheart's pieces are all over the arena right now, and they are smoking right now. Daedalus, another dominating performance, and another wheel comes off. Lameheart's down to 1 wheel. Their control board's in trouble, and they are not moving well. There's a little bit of motion. I think Daedalus might have taken a little damage themselves. They look a little off balance, but it doesn't matter because the control board falls on Lameheart and Daedalus advances. Wow, another dominating performance by Daedalus here. We saw many big shots like that one. Knocked off one entire side of armor, leaving a few of their wheels exposed. Then Daedalus went to work, knocked off a few of those tires, and gave Lameheart a lot more trouble. Lameheart's parts were all over the arena after this one, as they just took hit after hit from Daedalus' spinner. This just proves how powerful Daedalus' spinner is. This has got to be one of the most destructive bots of the season. This has got to be a major contender for the title, and a well-worthy 2 seed in this class. Coming up next, we have the 13 seed Death Roll, who will take on the 52 seed P1. On the left side, we got Death Roll, like said already, and their vertical spinner. That vertical spinner has some destructive power to it. This bot is quite well armored, and it is very durable. Their big issue though is their ground game. They are not as low to the ground compared to a lot of machines in the competition here, so that could give them some trouble if they go up against the wrong opponent who can take advantage of that. On the other side, we have P1 with their front hinge flipper, and we don't see a lot of those here in the competition. That flipper is quite effective, as it's got some strength to it, and they can fire it a bajillion times. Of course though, their problem is they do have 4 exposed wheels that their opponents could take advantage of here. Let's now check out some highlights from these 2's opening round battles before we see this epic face-off. First up, we have Deathroll, who went up against another really durable machine in Gruff, but thanks to that vertical spinner, they were able to do the damage they needed to win that battle by knockout and advance to this round. Their opponent is P1, who landed flip after flip and controlled nearly the whole fight against Ragnarok and won it by a very easy judge's decision. And thanks to that, they were able to get here to this point in the tournament, and we're now going to see the fight Deathroll. Here we go. Here comes P1 charging right out of the gate, but taking some hits from Deathroll. Deathroll got underneath P1 there, and right now they have them up against the rails. P1 self-rights to their flipper here. That was a big scare for P1 right there. As Deathroll got underneath them with ease. I see a little smoke coming out of P1, but there's a flip by P1. Deathroll does have a self-righting mechanism here, so they aren't very affected by it. But now Deathroll trying to get more shots with that spinner. Another big flip from P1. P1 pushing them around, trying to get that flipper underneath them, and they do, and toss Deathroll out of the arena. What an upset here as the 52 seed has knocked off the 13 seed. Gotta say, to start this fight off, Deathroll looked like they were going to dominate that one. Got underneath P1, landed some nice hits with that spinner, but P1 soon got that flipper underneath Deathroll and managed to use that front hinged flipper to send Deathroll flying. And then it was this moment right here, flipped them once, and then was able to just push them around and toss them clean out of the arena, and P1 will advance with the knockout. We stay in the Battlebots and Bugglebots class for another battle, where we have Slammo and Snappy, the 25 and the 40 seed. On the left side, we have Slammo with their grabber and flipper combination. They have an effective, that combination is very effective, so they got quite effective weaponry here, and it's always fun to see suplexes from this spot. But of course, though, they do have those exposed sides that could be a problem if their opponents manage to outmaneuver them. On the other side, we have Snappy and their flipper. This bot is very well armored, and it has a very effective lifter at its hands. But of course, though, if it misflips there, they could flip themselves over in the process. That's just how powerful their lifter is in this situation. Still, this should be an entertaining fight and a battle of flippers here. But before we get to this battle, let's check out some highlights from both of these bots' opening round matchup before we see this major clash of the Titans. First up, we have Slammo, who had no fear right at their opponent and managed to land several entertaining suplexes in their opening round battle with Bombshell. And all that was able to help them win their battle by knockout. On the other side, we have Snappy, who went up against a challenging opponent in the full body spinner of Son of Waiachi, semi-finalist from last year. But Snappy kept Son of Waiachi on their head for a majority of the fight and managed to win that battle by knockout to get here. Here we go, both bots charging, meeting each other right in the middle here. Slammo lands a suplex right on Snappy there. What a suplex that was. And now Slammo underneath Snappy again, trying to grab a hold of them. But Snappy's making that very difficult here. And now Slammo pushes Snappy right into the rails. Great start for Slammo to start this one, getting underneath Snappy with ease. And they are pushing Snappy around again here. Slammo trying to get a good hold on Snappy here, potentially get another suplex, but Snappy is just not making that easy. We saw a near flip by Snappy there, but now Slammo's got them again, pushing them right into the rails here, potentially trying to get them out of the arena, but not able to quite get there. Here comes Slammo once again, just continuing to get underneath Snappy, just not giving Snappy a chance. They are winning this fight here. 1 minute into this one, Slammo has just been dominating this one so far. Now as here we go, Slammo just almost got Snappy down the pit of Oblivion there. Was that close? It was a near flip there. There's Slammo tried to suplex Snappy and was that close to successfully doing it there. Snappy trying to use that lifter on Slammo, but just not able to get underneath Slammo. So most of the time they're having to use that flipper just to try to get free of Slammo, just to prevent Slammo from controlling this fight even more than they already are. As halfway through this fight, Snappy's got to get something going in this battle, as it's been all Slammo to start this one off here. They're underneath Snappy, continuing to control this fight, taking them into the rails again. And a little more than a minute here, Slammo just dominating this one. And Snappy just not getting anything done here. And here we go, ramming them right into the corner. That couldn't have felt good on Snappy there. Just being charged across the arena and just rammed into the rails like that and such. We got less than a minute to go here. Slammo is just stacking up on points right now. What can Snappy do here? As right now it's not looking good for them. Now as here we go, is Slammo trying to get underneath them, but we really haven't seen much else from that lifter. Like, yes, we have seen them constantly pushing Snappy around, but we haven't seen a suplex from like the first 15 seconds of the fight ever since. But still, less than 20 seconds to go. Oh, even though we haven't seen a lot of primary weapon usage in this battle here, I feel like Slammo's got the most points. 10 seconds left, but Slammo, big shot. Both bots go flying here, but this fight is going to the judges. And I feel like this will probably be an easier decision, but you never know what could happen when a fight goes into the judges' hands here. Now as the fight started right off the bat with an entertaining suplex, 5 seconds into it, but that was really all the primary weapon usage we saw. Now as Slammo did try to use that flipper, did try to use those claws, but it wasn't very effective. But they weren't able to really effectively get a good hold on Snappy or get a good lift on them. So pretty much what the rest of the fight seemed to be was Slammo just pushing Snappy around, as they clearly had lower ground game between those two. Was able to easily get underneath Snappy and just constantly ram them into the rails, push them around the box, stack up on control and aggression points here. I believe I know who would win this battle, but you never know what could happen when the fight goes to the judges. Let's see what they had to say. The judges' votes are in, and it was unanimous. The winner, who will move on to the next round, is Slammo. Gotta say I agree with that fight, and Snappy was just not able to get anything going in that fight. It was all Slammo throughout that battle. Nice win by Slammo. Can't wait to see what they're able to do in the next round. We go to the Robot Wars class for our next battle, where we have Beast 2 and Scorpion. On the left side, we have the 42 seed Beast 2 and their flipper. That flipper is quite effective, but their big problem is they are not very well armored here. So we could see Spinnerbots, like their opponent, the 23 seed Scorpion, take advantage of that. Scorpion has a powerful horizontal spinner, one weapon you will not want to mess around with. But their big problem is, while they are pretty well armored, it's their ground game. They are not very low to the ground, and they don't have a lot of push power. Now, as Scorpion will definitely be trying to get to the sides of Beast 2, potentially the back side as well. Probably will be trying to avoid the flipper as much as possible, while Beast 2 will probably be trying to keep their front towards Scorpion as much as possible. Either way, this should be a fun fight to watch, but before we get to that, let's check out some highlights from both of these bots first round before we see their first televised fight of the season. First up, we have Beast 2, where we saw a back and forth fight between them and Saint Aggro, but they managed to land the flips they needed to be able to win that battle by knockouts. Their opponent is a Scorpion, who managed to tear apart Mr. Mangle. Managed to tear apart their self-righting mechanism there, and then eventually managed to get to the control board and won that battle by knockout. Here we go, Scorpion getting that spinner to speed, Beast 2 charging and landing a big flip, giving Scorpion some airtime. What a flip that was, and now Scorpion taking a few more flips, another one, and another one, and another one, and Beast 2 almost sends Scorpion clean out of the arena there. Just landing flip after flip, Scorpion running away, getting that spinner up to speed, landing a few shots with that spinner here, but how much damage are they doing? Beast 2 seems to be holding up reasonably well so far. Another big flip and another one, and such. Scorpion almost going out the arena once again, but Scorpion and Beast 2 doing a brilliant job of keeping that front towards Scorpion and just landing flip after flip, just not giving Scorpion an inch in this one. And now as the points, Scorpion doesn't seem to be doing much damage with that spinner so far. So the majority of the points are going to Beast 2 right now. We saw Scorpion nearly get thrown out of the arena. We were a little over a minute into this battle. Beast 2's definitely got the lead on points, but Scorpion's definitely not far behind as they have been landing a lot of shots with that spinner. Another big flip from Beast 2. Beast 2 just controlling this battle very well. Halfway into this fight, and the underdog probably has the lead on points here. As Beast 2 coming into this one and in the 40s for their rank, they are just taking it to the 23 seed here. Another major flip and another one. Beast 2 is just landing flip after flip, just not giving Scorpion a chance to be able to do some significant damage in this one. But still, what I gotta say though, doesn't seem there's been much damage done by either machine, as we got Beast 2 with their flippers, Scorpion with their spinner here. Now as we saw Beast 2 temporarily on top of Scorpion, Scorpion's got that weapon going, landing a few more jabs in there with that horizontal spinner, getting sent flying again. Scorpion, they gotta get around the side to the back side and try and get some major damage where Beast 2 is exposed most here. But Beast 2 is just not allowing that to happen here. Scorpion just hasn't been able to outmaneuver Beast here, and we've been seeing that this entire fight. Less than 30 seconds to go here. Scorpion, I think they need a miracle. Potentially may need to win this fight by a quick knockout here. But Beast 2's just got them in the corner here. Scorpion escapes, lands a shot, another shot too with the horizontal spinner. But Beast 2 back on the attack. Another big flip. But this fight is going the distance. And this fight's in the hands of the judges here. And who knows how this fight will be scored here. Now, as Beast 2 was obviously in control for almost the whole fight. Well, I should really say nearly the whole fight, but they were just landing flip after flip, just not allowing Scorpion to get some significant damage in. The big problem though is the damage category here. We didn't see much damage done by either machine here. Beast 2 managed to land a ton of flips, but Scorpion landed a ton of jabs with their horizontal spinner. Neither bot really seemed to do much damage exactly. Still though, Beast 2 controlled this fight, showed a lot of aggression in this one. So I imagine they probably have the edge with that, but still could come down to the damage category, and who knows how that would go. This was probably the big key piece of damage. That flip managed to damage part of the control board here, was really the big part of damage we saw here. So now the votes are in, and it was unanimous once again. The winner of this battle is Beast 2! Gotta say I agree with the decision in there, as Beast 2 just took it to their opponent as the underdog, and they will be advancing to the next round. Fantastic fight that was. And next up, we got Mantis and TR2 from the Robot Wars class. On the left side, we have the 54 seed Mantis and their Crusher. This is an awesome looking design. They got some effective weaponry here, as those forks are very low to the ground, and they got a powerful Crusher on it. But their big issue is that if they get flipped over, they can't really self-right. They struggle to do it here. In which they're up against a flipper in TR2, whom is the 11th seed. TR2 has a very effective flipper here. As we saw a little action out of it, we saw some effective action out of it in their opening round battle. But their big problem is that their sides are very much vulnerable. So I have a feeling that Mantis is going to be trying to outmaneuver TR2. Well, TR2 will probably try to outmaneuver Mantis as well, and so on. So it might depend on who gets to the opponent's sides first, which could make this interesting. Let's see some opening round matchups from these two bots, some highlights from those. First up, we have Mantis, where they took a few big flips in that one. It was constantly getting pushed around by Lucifer, and that kind of costed them in this battle. But thanks to a few big moments that Mantis managed to get in this one, the selection committee chose them for a wild card. On the other hand, we have TR2, where one flip was all it took for them to win that battle against Great Pumpkin and move on to this round. Here we go. Here comes TR2 and Mantis here. Both bots trying to outmaneuver the other, but Mantis temporarily underneath TR2, and they're underneath him again. Mantis trying to drop that Crusher, but TR2 manages to get free here. TR2's got to get around to the side of the back side of Mantis here. As Mantis landing a few bites. There's a flip by TR2, lift there and such. There's a big flip, giving them some airtime. There we go. TR2 now getting some action with that flipper, landing a bunch of big flips in there. Now Mantis is flipped over. Mantis can't self-right, so could a knockout be coming here? TR2 deciding they want some more, pushing them around, pushing them towards the rails. You're taking a few shots from the spikes, so it's TR2. Gotta watch out for some of the hazards here, as the hazards have been known to cause some damage here. Now Mantis nearly getting tossed out of the arena, but they're back on their feet. TR2 tried to flip them out of the arena, but rather than flipping them out of the arena, they helped Mantis out. A few big flips by TR2. Now Mantis on the floor flipper, but now taking another shot from that flipper of TR2 is Mantis. Mantis has got to get away, get underneath, and they have gotten underneath TR2. TR2 got free. Now Mantis continuing to try to get some fights in on TR2, try to control this fight. Halfway into this battle here, I think TR2's got the lead right now, but not by much, as we've seen some good moments by Mantis in this battle. Like that right there. TR2 seems to be losing the ground game here, which is a big problem, but there's a flip and another one. TR2 getting to the sides of Mantis where they're able to land those flips. Now they're eyeing the pit button here. Could they be eyeing flipping Mantis down the pit of oblivion here? Countdown on Mantis here. But now TR2 deciding they want to flip Mantis down the pit. But Mantis self-rights and ends up sliding down the pit, and TR2 has won it by knockout. One of the coolest designs here. Ended up getting tossed around by that flipper on TR2. That flipper on TR2, such a nice weapon, such a powerful weapon here. We saw it giving Mantis some serious airtime in this one, flipped them over a few times. Then right here, tried to flip Mantis out of the arena, but Mantis ended up getting some assistance from that and ended up righting themselves and was able to continue the fight. We saw quite a few moments out of Mantis here, but then this was the kill shot scene right here, where they managed to get Mantis on their head, it again and soon managed to get them down the pit of oblivion, and TR2 won this battle by knockout and will advance to the next round. We go to the Battlebots and Bugglebots class for our next battle, where we have Electric Ray and Wee-Woo. On one side, we have the 23 seed Electric Ray and their horizontal spinners. Those two spinners are very powerful. And they're quite well armored as well. Knowing that they have those two spinners for defense, and those other two sides are pretty well armored. But this bot is a little bit difficult to control, as you've probably seen in their first battle. Including it doesn't have a lot of push power as well. Especially if their wedge on one of those sides isn't facing their opponent. Their opponent is Wee-Woo, the 42 seed and one of the cluster bots in this season. There's two bots here and such. They have Wee, who is a vertical spinner, and Woo, who is a grabber. The cluster bots are very difficult to fight. This one is no exception to that, as their opponent in the first round had a lot of trouble with them, just like other bots who have went up against cluster bots. But of course, there are less weight on each bot. That could be a potential problem here, is that could make Wee-Woo a little more delicate. It could make each bot delicate as for either one armor or weapon here. Either way, this should be an interesting fight. It'll be interesting to see how Wee-Woo will go up against a bot like Electric Ray. But before we get to this battle, let's check out some highlights from both of these bots' opening round matchup. First up, we have Electric Ray, who managed to land several devastating, damaging shots on their opponent Catalyst here, despite getting flipped around for a lot of the battle, and they managed to win it by a last-second knockout. On the other side, we have Wee-Woo, who made actually quick work of their opponent Marvin, who had a very hard time fighting those machines, and Wee-Woo managed to win it in a 20-second knockout, getting Marvin down the pit. Now it's time for this battle. Here we go. Electric Ray. How are they going to fight these things here? But now, Wee getting some excellent shots in with that vertical spinner. Woo trying to get in on the action, struggling to do so thanks to those spinners. But now Electric Ray knocked a wheel off of Wee. Wee, the vertical spinner bot, is now down to one wheel. Now we see Woo and Electric Ray just going at it here while Wee trying to get in on the fun. Woo is just pushing Electric Ray around, pushing them into the rails. Both bots go flying. And we got Wee trying to get in on the action, struggling to do so, just shuffling around the arena. This is considered as movement for Wee, despite them having just one wheel here, as it does fit the rule books and stuff. Here we go now, as Woo just going after Electric Ray, just showing lots of aggression here, and so on. Like, great job by Woo. It's like Wee moving over. What are they doing exactly? Can't really tell. If they're just trying to get in the action and just going like in the wrong direction or something. Looks like they opened the pit button. That may have been their intention here. Woo is right now got Electric Ray against the rails here, showing some excellent control here. You're controlling this battle against Electric Ray, but Woo seems to be smoking here. That could be a potential issue, something to watch in this one here. Woo seems to be taking some major damage. So weapon-on-weapon shot between Wee and Electric Ray. We got another push by Woo, pushing Electric Ray into the rails here. Woo's control board's in trouble and it's dead! Woo is now down! Thanks to the rules here, the Electric Ray has to KO both Wee and Woo, thanks to their weight being approximately equal here. But Wee might be in some trouble here from the fact that they only have one wheel. But now, down the pit goes Wee. Electric Ray has defeated this cluster bot, and they win it by knockout. Gotta say, one big question is, how do you fight cluster bots like Wee-Woo, for example, here? Electric Ray managed to take it one bit at a time in this one. Managed to knock a wheel off of Wee, leaving them with a hard time, having a hard time just getting underneath Electric Ray, or managing to get to Electric Ray and land a big shot here. We saw Wu and Electric Ray constantly going at it. Wu seemed to be controlling a lot of it, constantly pushing Electric Ray around. But Electric Ray ended up getting to the control board thanks to those horizontal spinners and managed to KO Wu in this one, leaving it between Wii and Electric Ray. And thanks to that one wheel that we had, Electric Ray didn't have too much trouble with taking out the other bot in this one and managing to win this battle against this cluster bot by knockout. Fantastic fight. Up next, we go to the DSL class, where we have Behemoth and Son of Waiachi. On one side, we have the 12 seed Behemoth and their Flipper and Hammer. Now, as they got some effective weaponry here, that's quite an effective combination here for them. Now, as those each could dish out some major damage to their opponents. But their big issue is those sides are relatively delicate, which could be something to watch in this one. Their opponent is Son of Waiachi, 21 seed, and their full body spinner. That full body spinner has quite a lot of power to it, as we could see it dish out some serious damage if it gets up to full speed. But their big problem, which was a big issue in their last fight, is their own stability. As well, they do tend to struggle to self-right. Well, it is possible though, because if they keep that spinner going, they'll likely eventually self-right. But still, it's something to watch in this one. Let's now check out some opening round battles before we get to this battle. First up, we have Behemoth, where it happened late in this battle, but Behemoth managed to land the flips and axe shots that they needed to be able to win this battle against the legend Vlad the Impaler, where Behemoth managed to win the battle by knockout. Their opponent is Son of Waiachi, who ended up taking hit after hit against 259, who took advantage of their stability problems. And Son of Waiachi lost the battle by knockout, but they did manage to get a wild card because of the potential of that design. Let's now get to this battle. Here we go, Behemoth charging right out of the gate, not exactly, but still managing to get Son of Waiachi on the side and stuff. Trying to get them out of the arena is Behemoth, but struggling to do so. Son of Waiachi on their side. This was a major issue they had in their battle against 259. It's happening again here. Son of Waiachi's got to get free and quickly here. They are on their head right now. Behemoth may just need to hang back, but now Son of Waiachi's on their side again. Here comes Behemoth charging in there, getting another big flip. Looks like the ring on Son of Waiachi's spinner just came off after that last one. Behemoth clearly doing some damage, landing another flip, and Son of Waiachi's in the corner here and such. Son of Waiachi's gotta get out of there and fast here. Now as Behemoth controlling this entire fight so far, and we're not even a minute into this fight. Well, we're almost a minute into this fight. Another flip. Son of Waiachi falls down the pit, and Behemoth advances with a dominant victory here. Fantastic fight that was. Landing flip after flip was Behemoth, managing to control this fight almost right from the beginning in this one. Now, Son of Waiachi was just not able to stay on their head and managed to get that spinner up to full speed to be able to land some devastating shots, as that was just constantly being denied by Son of Waiachi. We already saw it right there, who's the big piece of damage. I don't know exactly how major it was for Son of Waiachi, but we saw them lose the ring in that one, which is definitely a sign of damage there and such. Behemoth just landed flip after flip on Son of Waiachi, and eventually they were sent all the way down the Pit of Oblivion, where Behemoth managed to win the battle, and they will advance. Coming up next, we have tonight's main event, which is in the Battlebots and the Bugglebots class, where we have Catalyst, who will take on Lockjaw. On the left side, we have Catalyst, the 48 seed and a wildcard recipient. They have a front hinged flipper that is very effective. But of course, their big problem is those two wheels are exposed, and their opponents might try to take advantage of it. On the other side, we have the 17 seed Lockjaw, a legendary machine. Though that vertical spinner has a lot of power to it, as I imagine we could see it do some huge damage to Catalyst. But of course, their big issue is those 4 exposed wheels. I don't know how much their opponent can take advantage of that, but you never know what could happen here. Either way, this should be a very fun main event. I'm looking forward to it. But before we get to this epic clash, let's check out some highlights from both of these bots' opening round matchup. First up, we have Catalyst, who ended up taking hit after hit from Electric Ray, and eventually their control board just couldn't handle the punishment and they lost that one by knockout. But because of a lot of the action they had from that front hinge flipper, they were a wild card recipient. Their opponent is Lockjaw in their vertical spinner, where they managed to decimate Hello there piece by piece and won that battle by knockout to get here. Let's get to this main event. Here we go. Here comes Catalyst charging at Lockjaw, taking an early hit from that spinner. Catalyst is going to want to try to get underneath Lockjaw as quickly as possible, get a quick knockout potentially before Lockjaw can start doing some serious damage with that spinner. There's a flip by Catalyst, nice flip, another good flip by Catalyst. Lockjaw can drive upside down here or self-right through their spinner and stuff. But Catalyst looking to control this fight as much as possible, and they clearly are so far. Landing a bunch of effective flips from that front hinged flipper so far. Nice start by Catalyst here, landing some nice flips, controlling this fight so far. But now Lockjaw getting underneath Catalyst, landing some shots to the underside. Now the Pit of Oblivion is open thanks to those hits right there. But now Lockjaw getting underneath Catalyst again. Catalyst stuck on their backside right now. They gotta get free. Lockjaw going right at them, pushing at them right from the sides, trying to go for one of those 2 exposed wheels. Catalyst has gotta get free from there and manage to get some breathing room. But now, getting jammed into the rails, they gotta get out of the corner. They do, but at the cost of one of their wheels. They lost a wheel in that last exchange. Catalyst now has drive on one side. They'll be forced to have to try to outmaneuver Lockjaw, but that will definitely not be an easy task here, especially if they only have drive on one side here. We saw both of these bots trying to go head on. We saw Catalyst nearly get underneath Lockjaw, but now Lockjaw takes a shot from the floor flipper, lands right side up here, but now right on the attack of Catalyst again. They're right now at the back side of Catalyst here. Catalyst has gotta get something going here. Little more than a minute to go in this battle here. Catalyst seemed to be doing some sufficient damage, but now they lost another wheel. But then Lockjaw took control of this battle and has just been doing such major damage to Catalyst here. Definitely has turned tables on this battle here. I think Lockjaw has the lead on points right now. Lockjaw's just gotta leave Catalyst alone here. Catalyst has no wheels, they can't move here. But Lockjaw is continuing to punish Catalyst, just continuing to land shot after shot in this one. What a main event this has been here. Here comes Lockjaw again, destroying the control board and knocking Catalyst down the pit. Either way, no matter which one it is, Lockjaw has won this one by knockout. We saw lots of early action from the wildcard recipient in this one. This Catalyst was landing a bunch of major flips on Lockjaw, just giving Lockjaw some early trouble in this one. Some nice flips by them, but that sure didn't last long. As we saw Lockjaw soon get underneath Catalyst, this moment right here was when trouble really started brewing for Catalyst. Lost a wheel during that series of blows, and Catalyst was just not the same ever since that moment. Now it's right here, taking more major shots to the sides and the backside from that spinner, just showing off how powerful that spinner is. And then right here, lost the other wheel, lost the rest of their mobility. Catalyst ended up having their control board destroyed later in this battle, but still, effective performance, very entertaining performance from both bots. What a main event this was. Another terrific episode. Several fantastic fights were in this episode, and there are bound to be several more coming in the next round with who all has advanced so far. Stars of the night include Huge, Electric Ray, and Rev 4, who all had dominating returns to the arena. As well, Beast 2 and P1 proved that you cannot underestimate the underdogs in the bracket, as they each managed to win their battle against a higher seed. The biggest star of the night has to go to Daedalus, who had another destructive victory in this episode. Many of the other competitors in Daedalus's class will have to be keeping an eye out for that bot. With this episode complete, we are now halfway through the first round of each bracket in this tournament. We have seen several great battles so far, and I can promise you that there are many more great ones on the way. I am looking forward to all of it, and I hope you are as well. 10 more great fights will be in the next episode, and I hope to see you then. I will see you next time.